Sup YouTube, my name is Roxox and welcome back to another video. So when it comes to works of fiction, I am usually very extremely overly critical of parental figures. However, since I've started watching anime, there are actually so many father figures that I really like. Keep in mind that I'm saying father figures and not necessarily fathers in particular because biological dads seem to go missing a lot. Yeah, and most of the ones that stick around, yeah, kind of wish they had disappeared. So since it is Father's Day this weekend, I thought I would do a little video talking about some of my favorite anime father figures. So yeah, let's rock it. So the first person I want to talk about is Dr. Hiru from One Piece. I know that there is an L somewhere in his name, but I watched it in Japanese, and because they mostly pronounce L's as R's, I don't know where the L belongs. So, it's Hiruruk to me. So obviously this is Chopper's adoptive dad who got him on the path of both being a pirate and a doctor. And this man is just the sweetest. He sees a giant scared monster in the woods, strips down and is like, I'm not gonna hurt you, and then raises the sweet little reindeer baby as his own little son. Like, how precious is that for a story? His entire death scene was the first thing in One Piece that made me cry so hard I had to pause the episode to get through my emotions before I could continue focusing. The bond with him and Chopper was one of the best things ever and so incredibly sweet, and I think he'd be so proud of what Chopper's become. Next up on the list we have Zaraki Kenpachi from Bleach. I adore this man so much, and one of the main things that's got me was the fact that this bloodthirsty man found a little baby in the woods. It's like, meh, I'll adopt you. The way Kenpachi interacts with Yachiru is the most precious, sweet, adorable thing. Like, this guy is 1000% the ultimate girl dad. I adore that. But it's not just the way he is with Yachiru. Kenpachi is also the only captain you see interacting with a good amount of his squad and not just a few select named characters. Granted, most of the time you see unnamed characters, they are lying unconscious because he's whooped them into oblivion, but that is how you train in Squad 11. They are not called the toughest for no reason, okay? He is getting them into shape. That was a bit of a tangent. Let's get back onto the main point. I think that Squad 11 would be the squad most likely to see their captain as a substitute father figure as well. And you kind of see this a lot with Ikkaku and Yumichika, and I think more with Ikkaku. Like, the way he looks up to Kenpachi and admires him and respects him, but not fears him. I think that's very father-like admiration. Like, he looks to Kenpachi as a father-like figure. I think I phrased that wrong, which is why I had to over-explain. But yeah, I think he's a great father figure. The third person I want to talk about is Kazuki from Buddy Daddies. Now, just a disclaimer. I'm not in any way saying that Ray is a bad dad. I'm just saying that from the two, Kazuki is my favorite. So all of the Ray fans, please don't come at me. So the reason I like Kazuki so much is because, number one, he's incredibly domestic, okay? This guy is incredible. He's got all of the domesticity, whatever the heck the word is, all of the domestic vibes of Tatsu, plus the intense girl dad energy from Kenpachi, mushed together in a cute little adorable, lovable face. Also, one thing that I really like about Kazuki is in works of fiction, you see a lot of instances of a woman who loses a child and then still has this motherly instinct in her. And you get to see this in a guy for, like, the first time in my case, but that's what Kazuki has. And it's not like he's trying to replace the child that he's lost, it's just that this dude is a dad, and he found a little kid who needed one. And it's just so cute and precious and adorable. Also, low-key, I think he was sort of a parent to Ray in a sense of helping to reparent the guy, because Ray's father sucked. Also, if you want to argue with me on this, let us keep in mind that when he moved in, he literally just cleaned up the entire place and started feeding Ray healthy food. Like, that's kind of a parently thing. Parentish? Apparently, I don't know how to English, you know what I mean. Fourth person on the list is the only biological father, and it is Kurosaki Ishin from Bleach. Oh my gosh, this guy. This ridiculous, crazy man whose introduction was literally kicking his son for being late for dinner is by far the best biological dad in any anime I've ever seen. Now, it is a whole thing where once the mother is out of the picture, the father becomes cold and cruel, and in some cases a monster. Yes, Toji, I'm looking at you. But Ishin did not. This man held it together so incredibly well and did so much to make sure that his kids were able to move on from their mother's death. Now, yes, I understand that these kids aren't completely traumaless. Ichigo still blames himself. Karin didn't cry for a very, very long time. But if you compare Ishin's ridiculousness with all of his kids, it is the most around Ichigo and it is the least around Yuzu. And Yuzu is the one who is more likely to go along with Ishin's ridiculousness. And I think his insanity around his kids is his way of helping them to not just be sad all the time. And, you know, maybe the guy just doesn't know exactly what to do to help, but he's making an effort, and that counts for so much. And again, the guy did not just go cold and try to ignore the fact that the mother even existed, which is also a whole thing. Like, he acknowledges the mother and that they'll miss her, and he does his best to make sure that his kids are still okay and being raised properly and functional. And come on, give the guy credit. And the final character I want to talk about is the character who inspired this video. Like, just talking about this character is why I wanted to do this video. This is my new #1 anime dad, the person I want to be adopted by in real life. He's just amazing. And that is Edward Newgate, aka Shirohige, aka Whitebeard. This man. I don't think I have enough words to explain how much I adore this guy. There's no way I can talk about him without having spoilers for the Marineford arc, so if you've not seen that, don't watch this. This man wanted a family and he got that. And as far as I can tell, he did not take that for granted. Also, I knew spoilers about this arc from before I even started watching One Piece, and I always assumed that he was there because Ace was his golden child. But after watching it, I don't think that he ever played favorites with any of his kids. I genuinely feel that he cared for each of them individually and saw them as just who they are. Nothing to do with the circumstances of their past or anything. Like, this is my child, this is who you choose to be, I accept you as that. And this is a conclusion I drew together from his interactions with Swallow, because I didn't know anything about that dude, but I knew he was up to nonsense. There's no way Shirohige didn't know, but he let the guy stab him because, in my mind, it's just purely because he refused to raise a hand against his child. Also, more than that, the guy was shot over 200 times during the Marineford arc. He was a sickly man. It is not his body that kept him alive. I absolutely am 1000% convinced that the only reason he was able to stand tall that entire time was because he refused to let his kids see him fall. My reasoning for that comes from the fact that I think that once he had a family, he wanted to make his kids proud of him. And this comes from his little interaction with Ace when he asked Ace, was I a good father? That broke me a lot because it showed me that this man cares so much about what his kids think about him. And again, I don't think this just applies to Ace. I think it applies to all of them. I feel like everyone has an opinion of what a father figure should be like. And for me, it is protective, accepting, and being someone that can be looked up to for many reasons. We're not going to deep dive too much into that because I've rambled too much already here. And Shirohige just fits that so incredibly perfectly to me. Also, something that I mentioned for Kenpachi definitely applies here. This is a dangerous dude, okay? He can literally destroy the world if he wanted to. And everyone who follows him does so out of admiration and loyalty and love and respect and not fear. And that is a huge aspect of what I think goes into being a good father figure. So yeah, Shirohige is just the ultimate dad. He deserves a giant world's #1 dad mug. Or one of those giant saucer things for his sake. Was my voice cracking at the end there? I'm totally fine, totally not getting emotional. So yeah, those are my top 5 favorite anime father figures. And I was going to do a little honorable mentions thing with mentors who were kind of like father figures and also amazing older brothers, but I think they would deserve their own video, like 2 separate videos. Maybe next year's Father's Day, maybe sometime throughout the year, who knows? I don't. But yeah, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like this video and leave me a comment letting me know who your favorite anime father figure is. You don't need to tell me why. Actually, unless it's one of these guys. If it's one of these guys, show me your math. Why are these good father figures? I need to know what the logic is behind that. Also, if you're new to the channel and like anime stuff like this, be sure to hit subscribe and book the bell so that you know when the next video is out. Also, just in case you're interested, I have a gaming channel where I'm actually pretty active on. I am currently playing my way through Bleach Brave Souls, and I also kind of sort of started a Minecraft thing because something cool happened in the game I was playing and I recorded it. And I kind of ended it on a cliffhanger, so I kind of need to turn it into a series now. And I also have a Pokemon game that I need to edit and get up there, so yeah, there's a lot going on that channel. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I also do have Twitch. I haven't streamed there in like a year because I only go and stream on there if I know for sure that people are gonna watch. So once I build up a actual audience on the gaming channel, then maybe Twitch streaming is going to be a thing as well. We'll see. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, you just keep rocking. Bye!